Greetings, tribe. So last night, I had a dream, at least what you would call a dream. So we're going to talk a little bit more about dreams and what all the variations of these dreams and what they really are. But what I wanted to share with you is the other night I had a dream, which was actually not a dream actually at all. What they've told us are dreams, what they wanted us to believe are dreams are, but let's put it this way, there are variations. There's different types of dreams, but primarily some of the dreams that we have that we find rather strange or really weird, that really kind of tend to and sometimes incite different emotions within us, is what I like to call, they're actually simulations. That's what they are. Now, what are these simulations, or what are the purpose of these simulations? Well, the purpose of the simulations, in short, is really they use simulations as a means to program the unconscious mind as well as your conscious mind. So, having said that, fast forwarding back to my so-called dream, which was actually a simulation. In this simulation, but I'm going to say it because you guys are so used to hearing what they program us to think they are dreams. So back to this dream. In this dream, now, again, the dreams that we have, we may not remember all of those dreams, but we do remember certain parts of the dreams. And the reason being is the things that are important, we're going to remember. And it's because our subconscious mind and that part of us that is sentient wants us to remember because it's important. And then the other aspects of those dreams, parts of the dreams, you won't remember because they're not important. Most of that would be clutter. So the one part of the dream that I want to share with you, the tribe, is during this, which I thought was really, really important. Obviously, that's the what my divine self, that is sentient in the unconscious mind, wanted me to remember to share with you, is in this particular in this dream. There was, well, actually, let me take one step back, tribe, to let you know what happened before I had the dream. So prior to the dream, I was actually watching something on television, but it wasn't. I really don't watch television. I want to be clear, but I was watching something. I think it was on YouTube actually, and it had all I remember is there was a symbol, right, in whatever I was watching. And that symbol, I'm going to explain what the symbols are. So the symbol actually looked like an astrological symbol, because in astrology, you know how your sun sign has all these different symbols. So let me tell you what, and I'm going to do another video at some point because that's a whole nother conversation, and a whole nother, really a whole nother presentation. But that's a whole nother conversation and a whole nother lecture, essentially. So I'm going to do another video at another time to really talk about what astrology really is, because that's just a whole nother conversation for another time. But at any rate, in short, those symbols that you see in astrology, they are all alchemical symbols, and they're all alchemically charged. And they're charged in order to influence your mind. All right. So what you don't want to be doing is you really don't want to be looking at those symbols too long, and you don't want to really look at them together. And they're alchemically charged just like numbers and letters are. Okay, because these are all relative to ancient symbols that that have a certain amount of energy and power. But these particular symbols that they use in astrology, they have alchemically charged. All right, and that is in order to influence and program the unconscious and subconscious mind. And one of the other methods that I did want to mention that they use, and they've been using this particular method for decades, or these various methods, is through television, through film. You'll see these as well as anything like videos, especially on YouTube. They also, what they tend to use is the use of color and flashing lights. So if you see, for example, if you see something on YouTube, a video that's got lights that's flashing, and it might be a video that they know is going to draw people in, like something of, a video of, that talks about, oh, the chosen ones, something like that, or a video like that has to do with inspiration, something like how to manifest your best life or something like that. Or even videos from people that are part of the, I would say, no conscious community that claim to, that they're able to help you to, raise your vibration or frequency. I would just say beware, be very wary of it, because if it's a video where, and sometimes what people do is they also borrow from those particular types of videos. And what they'll do is they might take sound bites from some of those people's videos that, might be, people that are, on YouTube that might be advertising as life coaches or whatever. And they'll take sound bites from their videos and they'll put it on a video, like a generic video site called, for example, Awaken Within or something like that. And at any rate, it's just whatever they'll use a certain title to draw you in. And then, what will happen is you click on that video, you'll see a lot of these flashing lights and numbers that fly across the screen and things like that. So when you see that, what is happening? And so they'll use it through videos, this particular method, flashing lights. Red is a major color that they use to, influence, your, and also to program your synapses. And we'll touch on that in a minute. And they also use television, and television through a lot of their commercials, as well as any type of advertisements, and even on like YouTube or any type of video advertisements. You have to be very careful. They'll be like, if there's commercials, there's going to be flashing lights sometimes, and you'll see colors like red or bright colors like, it could be yellow, green, red, any of those type of colors flash across the screen. If the colors are flashing, and this could be through, like I said, advertisements, commercials. You could see it on billboards. They like to use that type of technique with flashing lights and colors. Movies are big where they like to use a lot of flashing lights, especially red, the color red. You'll see a lot in film. They show it in their movies. And it tends to be flashing. That's why you'll see in a lot of movies, sometimes films, you'll see club scenes where they like to use like club scenes with nightclubs, because in nightclubs, they like to use nightclubs because there's, in nightclubs, there's always flashing, the lights, the flashing strobe lights. And that's also a form of programming. Also, techniques they've used for decades, like, through monarch programming and so on. So these are all mind control programs, techniques that they use, the methods of mind control. So you'll find it in movies. You'll also find it in videos. Music videos is very big. Or flying at you, like in 3D, or flashing lights. These are all methods that they use to program the synapses in your brain. And it does send electrical and chemical signals to your brain. And this is also something that has an impact on you, on the subconscious mind. And this is also contributes to why you do have these very strange dreams sometimes that you really can't explain, because it's what they use. This is just, some of the many methods they use for programming you in order to try to manipulate and influence your mind. So just an FYI, something that you need to be mindful of. And I recommend that if you're watching movies or anything type of videos where there's flashing lights and colors that are flying across the screen, or numbers or any type of symbols, you want to look away and don't look at them, okay? Because that's what they use, just one of the many methods. So fast forwarding back to the dream, I recall seeing the symbol that was an alchemical symbol that I believe it was associated with one of the signs in the zodiac. And so the next minute, obviously, I have this dream, and in the dream, now this is the part that my divine self wanted me to remember, my highest self. Okay, and this is the part of all of us that is sentient, especially, us, we being melanated people. We have this part of us is very sentient, that really guides us as well as protects us. And especially when we're astral traveling. So that they refer to as, the dream world. We're in that so-called dream state. So essentially, what are these simulated dreams? Okay, is what I'll just call them for understanding's sake. So the simulated dreams essentially are when we have invaders that hack in to your subconscious mind. Now, how are they able to do that? Well, they're doing that by using, obviously, forms. They're using, let's just put it this way, they're using these alchemical symbols in order to create, I guess, an opening to hack in, okay? Think of it like the Matrix. There's a construct, right? And they're able to go, hack into the construct, and through that construct, they can essentially try to program, right? They're running a program and creating these programs to try to influence the subconscious mind to whatever they're looking to try to influence you for whatever reason. And it could be various different things, okay? But the point is, that's what these simulations are that they've lied to us and told us are dreams. And this is what many of us experience, that we believe, or we've been taught to believe, or what they refer to as dreams. So, think about it. If you take the word dream, for example, ask yourself, well, wait a minute, the word dream itself, you pronounce it with a J, right? But there's a D in the word, right? So the letter does not have the same sound, right? It has a J sound, all right? And then when you take the word dream and you read it from right to left, what do you get? It's wordplay for the word mirage. And also, it has the same word. That word has the same in common, the same root as the suffix of the word program, right? It's technically the same word, right? And again, if you even look at the word program, right, and you take the suffix gram, again, from right to left, you get the same word, mirage, because, again, these are things that they use. It's a program which basically is part of what? An illusion. It's not real, right? And that's, dreams are not real. But that's what these simulations are. So fast forwarding back to the simulation, in this dream, there was a woman that had a staff in her hand, and it was this Egyptian staff that had this really strange symbol. And if I recall, it was shaped just like the alchemical symbol I saw before, when I was watching something on YouTube that was, I think it was maybe something that had a one of the signs of the zodiac, and I can't recall which sign it was, but it was very similar to one of the signs of the zodiac, but it had an alchemical symbol. So she was holding this staff, okay, that was shaped like that alchemical symbol that I saw on YouTube, and it was an Egyptian staff. And when she, as she held the staff, she says to me, something about now I don't remember the whole everything she said, but she said something about that she used the word Negro, and I kind of laughed because she was just talking about like Negroes in general or whatever, and it was, and naturally she wasn't. And by the way, she wasn't one of us. She was I don't know what whatever her so-called nationality would have been, but she wasn't melanated, okay, and so when she said that, I kind of laughed because the first thing I did was I corrected her, and this is where the part of us that is sentient, right, had kind of shifted, taken over the driver's seat of that simulation and shifted into first gear. So the part of me that is sentient, that was very conscious in this simulation, right? Even though I wasn't conscious, my divine self was conscious. And so she said, okay, I'll say I, for all intents and purposes, said to her, my response was, I had corrected her and I said, and first off, I said, we are not, we're not Negroes. We are the original tribes, organic to the land. And we didn't come here on no ships. We were already here. And I said, and I want to be clear about that, right? Because I had to straighten her out when I was talking to her. And when I said that to her, and then I went on to say, rather, one other thing I wanted to, I didn't want to leave this out. And then I went on to say to her, this is our land. This is our land, is what I said to her. All right. And she just looked at me and not a word. She didn't utter not one word after I said that, because my divine self had already comprehended what was going on in the simulation. All right. And that's why I remember this segment of the dream. And then I had awakened, tried. And I wanted to share this dream because this was literally the other night. And I wanted to share this with you because because that was clearly a simulation. And what they were doing was they were trying to, and in these simulations, they want to try to influence us, to program us to believe whatever they want us to believe. So that was clearly a simulation where the opposition wanted me to believe, for some half-baked reason, again, they still try to push this narrative, this false narrative in their rhetoric, that we were brought here on some ships. But again, and then they try to program us, because you got to understand, family, tribe, they cannot program us. They can no longer try to program us through the media, right? Because that just don't work anymore. There's too many of us that are awakening. Right? So they can't do that anymore. They can't use movies like Roots and them slave flip, they can no longer use movies like Roots and those little, epic movies and all that garbage that they be, pushing in Hollywood. They can't use that anymore to deceive our people. They can't use that fantasy anymore. They can no longer use the media as a tool to program the conscious mind of our people and our tribes. So they still continue to try to influence us by way of the simulations that they've lied to us and told us are dreams in the unconscious state, the unconscious mind, or should I say subconscious mind, right? So they try to do it in the subconscious mind. But even that has failed because the part of us that is sentient, even in the subconscious mind, is awake and very much aware. And so that's why that didn't work either. So I wanted to share that because that was really powerful. It was very, very powerful to understand that much of these dreams that you're having, family, in tribe, the ones that are like, off the wall and someone's trying to influence you, or, if it's something to try to, frighten you, understand that you have got to allow your divine self to take, if you trust your highest self, your divine self, that part of you that is sentient, and allow your divine self to lead, not just in the subconscious mind, in the simulated realm, right? That they've told you are dreams, but in the conscious mind, okay? Even in this illusion, this matrix, understand that you, as a higher order being, have a part of you, that divine self within you. Remember, the outer world follows the inner world, and we're all uniquely divine. So as long as you allow your highest self, that I like to refer to as your divine self, lead. Think of it this way. I like to use the analogy of a car. You're in a car, and instead of you wanting to be the driver, if you allow your highest self, your divine self, to be the driver, and put your divine self in the driver's seat, your highest self, and allow your highest self to drive, right? And put yourself as the co-pilot, or should I say in the passenger seat, and let your highest self, your divine self, shift it in the first gear, all of a sudden, you will be in cruise control. And there's nothing that you will not be able to do and accomplish. I hear some of the people out there in the, I refer to as the no conscious community, kind of talk about all these little different things and techniques of how to, or even offer seminars and things like that of how to tap into their G power and G force, also referred to as God power. And I kind of laugh because it's kind of like, or how to unlock and tap into their chakras and so on. And, I find it all amusing because family, like, here we are, the most powerful beings on the planet. And for some reason, we're sitting here, we have all this information that is dormant and stored in our archives, just waiting to be, just waiting for us to tap into it. And instead, we're all, we're looking for, some of our people tend to look for the answers outside of us, when all they have to do is just trust their highest self, their divine self within. Because seeking that information from others is kind of like, okay, you're going to, it's like going to somebody else's library and paying an entrance fee in order to access their books. When you've got a free library at home. So why would you want to go to somebody else's, library when you have, public library, and then you got to pay for their library card to get in when you have your own library? And all you have to do is access your own archives within. You've got a free library that you and only you have the key to. No one else has that key but you to tap into your archives and access them. So I hope what I shared with you today is something that you find relative. If so, please share and subscribe. And I thank you so much for being on the same vibe, tribe, and much love, and always continue prosperity.